It is hard to imagine that one of the best snipers of the Second World War, on his first appearance, did not even receive a gun. The commander just gave Vasily 5 bullets and then told him to rush into the battle to kill the enemy. As it turned out, at that time the Soviet Union was in a serious shortage of supplies. For every 2 soldiers, they receive a gun. Only when the one holding the gun dies will the other person have a gun to use. Soon, the signal whistle sounded. All soldiers rushed to the front to kill the enemy regardless of whether they had weapons or not. Facing the Nazi army equipped with high-tier weapons, the desperately charging Soviet army this time was like looking for death. Vasily's comrade is being mowed down by machine gun, while he tried to pick up a gun. Unfortunately for him, the other guy is faster. By the time Vasily's could react, most of his comrades have already died. It was not unexpected that the Nazis had won. The battle was over, leaving ruins and destruction in the area. Soon the German tanks began to clear the battlefield. The Germans opened fire on the bodies of the Red Army soldiers, making sure that they stay dead before leaving. But they did not expect that there was still a man alive who rose from the pile of corpses. He is a political commissar of the Soviet army. Seeing the fascist lieutenant in front of his eyes, he quickly picked up a gun to kill him, but when he pulled the trigger, the gun was empty. At this time, Vasily, pretending to be dead, quickly crawled over to the commissar. He still had 5 bullets with him. After loading the gun, he immediately gave the gun to the commissar, and at the same time reminded the commissar that he should not shoot recklessly, taking advantage of the surrounding sound, so he could hide effectively. The commissar was just about to pull the trigger when he suddenly stopped and think. This young man seems to know what he's doing. You're a sniper, aren't you? I don't miss. After listening, the commissar quickly gave the rifle to Vasily. Vasily quickly identified the target, then used the explosion as a cover to shoot down the first target, the enemy lieutenant. Boom, dead. Just like that, he continued to hand out Soviet leads to the other Nazis. The last guy who was smoking noticed something was wrong, just grabbed his pants and start running. But Vasily didn't give him that chance, because he is too good. This is the first battle of the legendary sniper Vasily, and one of the bloodiest battles in human history. It was the Battle of Stalingrad. The number of casualties of the Soviet Red Army alone was more than 2 million people. Thus, the average survival time of each Soviet soldier in the battle is less than 10 minutes. What a brutal time for the Russians. Faced with machine guns and tanks of Nazi Germany, the Soviet army with a shortage of supplies, showed signs of defeat. At this time, the Soviets is in dire need of a hero to fuel the war effort. And it just so happens that Vasily is a badass sniper. Witnessing everything from beginning to end, the political commissar published his profile in military magazines telling magnificent stories. Vasily not only performs well but meets everyone's expectations. Over the next 10 days, he continuously destroyed 40 German soldiers. This feat alone greatly increased the Soviet army's morale. They began to believe that the Germans are not invincible. With Vasily KDA continuously increasing, the news about a dangerous sniper in the Soviet army quickly spread to the Germans, causing them afraid to go out in open battle. Even the officers began to worry and stress out, as this led the two sides into a stalemate. This made the commander of the German army extremely angry. To solve this trouble, he sent their own secret weapon to battle. It is a famous sniper named Koenig, who had the rank of major and is currently the most badass sniper in the German ranks. If the Germans have to send someone like Mr. Koenig to the battlefield, then the fascist must be in a dire situation. Koenig again told the colonel that yesterday we had another 25 soldiers killed by enemy snipers. His existence greatly reduced the morale of the German army. The commander asked Koenig, "How do we even find this guy?" The colonel then replied confidently, "We don't. Let him come to us." The next day, he began to deploy a fierce attack against the Soviet troops. However, Koenig did not kill the enemy soldiers, but only aimed at their officers. Within a day, 5 officers of the Red Army were killed. That news quickly caught Vasily's attention. He began to lead his teammates to the front to explore. After observing for a while, they also found out the location of the sniper on the German side. Vasily then opened fire, and the enemy's helmet fell off. Assuming that the sniper is dead, Vasily led his teammates to check while one guy stayed to observe the surrounding. However, the observer was shot dead when the other 2 leave. It wasn't until Vasily went upstairs that he discovered that the sniper from earlier was just a decoy. Thus, they had obviously fallen into the enemy's trap. The 2 did not dare to move, but began to carefully observe everything around them. At this moment, the fascist air forces suddenly appeared to drop bombs on area, causing havoc. Vasily's comrade saw this and fled in fear, but as soon as he got up, he was shot and killed by Major Koenig, who is hiding nearby. Causing panic is key to a professional sniper like Koenig. Taking advantage of the thick smoke, Vasily quickly ran away from this place. The sacrifice of 2 comrades helped him realize that this guy is no ordinary sniper. At the same time, the Soviet troops also received intelligence about the arrival of Major Koenig on the Nazi side. Knowing that Koenig is a very dangerous man, the Red Army decided to change strategy. Therefore, the political commissar sent a silver-headed Danilov, who is another sniper from another battalion, to assist. The two teamed up to deal with Colonel Koenig, to force him to come out. This time, they took a different approach. First, Vasily shoots down the fascist power lines 160 meters away. Next, the silver-headed guy shoots the line repairman. Both of them took turns shooting, making it impossible for the opponent to clearly identify their position. Finally, after killing the 3 repairmen, they managed to get Koenig's attention. He captured a Soviet prisoner and forced him to put on a German soldier's uniform, using the guy as bait. As soon as the prisoners left, he was shot instantly. Thanks to that, the major was able to locate the 2 Soviet snipers. Danilov uses his headgear to bait Koenig into firing first. Koenig didn't fall for this but just smirked, not knowing that an old fox like him cannot be easily fooled. He aimed his gun straight at the only exit point. Danilov didn't know about it, but thought that the enemy is too much of a pussy to dare show his face. He suggested continuing to move to the new location, but Vasily said that the opponent's actions are very unusual. We have shot down 4 line repairmen in a row, and yet the enemy still hasn't sent any snipers. Even with Vasily's skepticism, Danilov chose to stick with his gut. He said that if even Koenig is here, we could just jump out together. That way, he wouldn't be able to react in time. After that, the 2 of them went out together. But the moment Danilov jumped out, he was immediately shot and killed. The major reaction was so fast that Vasily felt extremely nervous. Seeing his comrades die, he stumbles onto the ground, feeling nervous. Vasily has never experienced such fear since childhood. It's like facing a professional predator waiting for you to make a small mistake and then boom, headshot. Knowing the opponent is more badass than him, Vasily went to the political commissar and offered to give up this decisive battle. But the commissar tried to convince Vasily, saying that this competition is no longer a confrontation between 2 people, but it concerns the honor of both countries. The commissar said that he has arranged for a spy to infiltrate the enemy ranks. Thus, any actions that Major Koenig makes, the Soviet army will know. The next day, we see a young boy acting as a spy, providing intelligence for the Soviets. It is revealed that Koenig's shoes had yellow dirt on them, which is only found in the ruins of factories, so the construction site was where he had to go through every day. Realizing this is a piece of very valuable information, Vasily quickly arrived near the construction site and hid in the pile of dead bodies to ambush. But an entire evening has passed and he is still waiting. Due to having to concentrate for a long time, Vasily's sleepiness in the end got the better of him. Just like that, he not only missed the golden opportunity to kill Koenig's, but also accidentally revealed his position. The major took position and immediately pointed his gun at Vasily. Just as he was about to pull the trigger, a German soldier appeared out of nowhere, blocking his view, and the soldier turned Vasily's body over and took his wallet. This angered Koenig, who gave him a warning shot to the leg. By the time he looked back, there was only a pile of bodies on the ground. From the wallet, the major discovered Vasily's identity. This led the German commander to assume that Vasily is probably dead. But Koenig does not think so. He thinks that the sniper who was sent to kill him is probably Vasily. And if he was there to ambush him, then surely there is an imposter among their men. After investigating, the major quickly identified the spy, but did not kill him immediately. He deliberately told the boy what his plan is going to be. The boy thought it was real, so he rushed back to tell Vasily. The next day Vasily was present early to ambush Koenig, but when he looked around, he discovered that the young boy had been hanged to death. Truly, a tragedy. It turns out that Koenig purposely set up Vasily to settle a 1v1 today. Seeing that the boy was hanged, the political commissar was extremely painful, because the boy was arranged by him to blend into the enemy's ranks. Because he wanted to make up for his mistakes, the political commissar volunteered to sacrifice himself to create an opportunity for Vasily. The commissar begged his subordinates not to let himself die in vain. After saying that, he immediately poked his head out, despite Vasily trying to stop him, but it was too late. This time the positions of the 2 sides were revealed, but the major was not sure if the person he hit was a Vasily or not. Therefore, he continued to hide and observe the situation around him. But after waiting for a long time, he did not see any movement. Seeing this, Koenig safely stepped outside to examine the body, but he hadn't gone far when he suddenly stopped. Not far away, Vasily was aiming straight at him. Unexpectedly, the battle-hardened major who had fought hundreds of battles, in the end, was defeated by a freshman. Koenig smiled and slowly took off his headgear hat as if he is trying to say, "You got me." Koenig then awaits his death from the main character. Apparently, even though the major is like a level 100 mafia, he did lose in the end. But why? That's because he was too conceited, always acting alone, only to find out one day that without backup, you are pretty much screwed. Remember that war is not a game for those who want to be heroes. Unity and determination are the factors that lead to the victory of the film. The movie ends here. Goodbye and see you all in the next video.